This is a Photoshop tutorial that is going to look at a mixture of the work between Lola Dupree and Aaron McKean, but this time we're going to work with a grid that is going to be measured precisely using guides and snap to grid features. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to go to the view menu and make sure we can see rulers. We're also going to make sure that, same thing, snap is turned on and snap to guides is turned on. Now we're going to be placing a whole bunch of guides. These are guides. I'm going to put this one right back, that exist on top of the image but aren't in the image itself. It's just for alignment. And what we're going to do is we're going to say view, guides, new guide, and we're going to position them in exact places. So we're going to do a bunch on the vertical, starting 1 at 1,000 pixels. And then we're going to do another one, view, guides, new guide. And we're going to put them at basically 300 pixel increments, 1300 for the sake of, so we can make these boxes. I'm going to do 2. One's on the horizontal. So we'll switch to horizontal. We're going to start at 1700. One more. 2000. And I'm going to do a bunch more of these and I'll get back to you. Okay, with a whole bunch of guides now made here, what's nice is I'm able to use the marquee tool, and again with the snap to guides turned on, I can make selections that fit exactly into these boxes, and these are all exactly 300 by 300 at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a bunch of slices of those faces. But first, I want to have a copy of this background. So I'm going to make this layer 0, and then I'm going to make a new layer, a duplicate layer, so that I have a copy of the original available to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of walk along, and this is going to take some time. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to make this first layer, and I'm just going to say, let's turn this off so we can see it. I'm going to say Command Cut, Command Paste, and whoops, Command D. And so these pieces, I'm going to, for now, put them right back to where they belong. And notice they're snapping right to guides. And I'm going to keep going back again to this 0 layer copy and switching to the marquee tool, which is the letter M here. We can hover and you can see the letter M. So I'm going to bounce back and forth. I'm going to select. I'm going to say Command Cut, Command Paste. And I'm going to put it back. And now I'm going to do this a whole bunch of times. This is going to take me a while. Okay, now that I'm done, I've cut exactly 30 pieces. Basically, I'm going to switch to the Move tool or letter V. Each of these there's 6 of these across, 1, 2, 3 by 5. And so the fun thing is I can rearrange these however I want. They're almost like puzzle pieces to create this kind of abstract, but an abstract that has some organization to it. It is a little confusing at times when some things are on top of others. But you have to get used to it. And I'll just keep going, and when I'm done, Now that I have this composition, I want to be able to view it without the guides, and we have a couple ways I can do that. We can go to View, Show, and uncheck guides, which is Command semicolon on a macro control, right? And so we can get a sense of this composition now. And let's say this is the version I like, and I could save this. I'm not going to save this, but what I want to show is another version of approach we can do this. We did have this ability, as I said, we're seeing the layers, like this is the composition. I'm going to make a number of squares with just color. All right. Let's do it this way. We're going to just kind of deselect on purpose all of them. And I'm going to make a bunch of colors. Okay, so now I'm going to, with a bunch of, I don't know how this is going to come out, but we're going to make a frame animation based on this. And I'm going to turn things off and on. Make it plus. So we're just turning on different layers. This time we'll leave 2 on. Okay, this took a lot of time to figure out and reorder the layers. I'm going to do this one trick at the very end to introduce to you. I'm going to select layer time frame 2 all the way to 48. Whoops, I meant to do a shift click. So I am doing it before the first frame and before the last frame with a shift in between. And I'm going to copy these frames. And then I'm going to select the last frame and I'm going to paste these frames after the selection. And the cool thing is what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them selected and I'm going to immediately reverse these frames. And this is going to allow this animation to appeal sequential. So it's going back and forth between these 2 frames. And we're going to get to see the reordering and back to the still image. And now the cool thing is what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pause right on the still image. Where is it? Right around. I don't even know where it is. There it is. So we're going to make this like a full second. Frame 49. And it's going to keep going back and forth and back and forth. And that way I can export this now as a GIF. So we're going to say export, save for web. Again, will be mindfill. Save. And there's our final version.